Hello YouTubers, Charles here, playing the early access weekend of Satisfactory. This is a 3D factory building game, like a first-person Factorio or a non-puzzle version of Infinifactory. So if you like those games, you'll probably like this game. This isn't really a first look or it's definitely not a Let's Play. I'm just here to give you my thoughts of the game, and yeah, basically. I've played a bit over 6 hours, and I've gotten through most of the tech that are available in this weekend, early access, or alpha weekend, which is only about half the stuff that's going to be in early access. As you saw on the previous screen, early access is out on the 19th, which is should be about a week away when this goes out. Yeah, so right now there's only 3 tiers of tech, and there's going to be 6 in the early access, and probably at least 1 or 2 more when it fully comes out. So this is my factory. When you first start the game, you actually start in a drop pod. You're showing a little intro video, and you find out you're working for Fixit Corp, and they basically send you down to a planet to exploit it. You take apart your drop ship, and build the beginnings of this hub, and then there's a kind of a tutorial section where you go through and you do some things, and you eventually build up this hub, it's called, until what it's at right now. You have like a little bedroom area, and this is like a research machine. But the core of the hub is 2 things. It's this screen, which you use to have different tasks. You pick which tasks to work on, and like you need these materials to unlock it, and you get like more inventory slots and different things. And as you see, yeah, there's 3 tiers. There's going to be up to 6 when early access comes out, and you see they have at least room for 2 more. I don't think they're completely, like, they've been talking about some things for tier 7. I'm not sure if they even know what they're going to do for tier 8 yet. But the other part of the hub is, well, you have a storage. I don't even think you have this initially. I'm not sure. Maybe you do. Little storage area. But your crafting bench over here. And you start off with just a few things. Like crafting iron ingots. And then once you have the ingots, you can craft iron plates and all different things. And you have to then, from those parts, like you build, this is like a equipment workshop, and this lets you make different things. Let's make a portable miner right now. And in a lot of these, in a crafting bench over there and this one, you basically just hold down the button, and it takes 10, like you can press it 10 times, where you just hold down the button. And there you go, I have now a portable miner, and if I stop now, it's not going to use up the materials that I kind of started on the next one. But at the beginning of the game, you are told to hit C, and, well, you don't have this at the beginning of the game, but let's say iron ore. And it sends out a pulse and scans, oh look, there's iron ore, 111 meters that way, 344 that way, 549 meters that way. You have an indicator for your hub. It's always that little house. But, so there was this patch of iron ore. In fact, there was a little nugget of what they call pure iron ore. This is just normal, you can see. And the pure gives you basically more every time you break it. But you start off with just banging it. You see I get 2 each time. I think the pure one you got 3 each time. And then this is what you take back to smelt into the ingots, and then turn the ingots into plates or rods or whatever. But eventually you unlock technologies. Oh, as I just built, let's open up my inventory. I built this portable miner. So if I drag that into my hand, you can click to place it, and it opens up. Nice little animation. And it's mining. I can now click on this, and you can see, oh, he's got 16, 17, he makes 1 a second. And you just drop it in your inventory, where you can pick it up again. And if you pick it up again, up. Oh, I don't have any inventory space. Can I drop stuff? I'm actually not even sure if I... Oh, yep. Alright, let's pick it up. That's interesting. Again, this is early access. For what it is, it runs pretty well. I get a few hitches when I go into like newer areas as it loads the area, but it's not bad. It's like a half a second or so. I haven't really had that many problems. This is just interesting. So eventually you unlock tech like this automated miner, and the automated miner takes that portable miner as a necessary ingredient. You need 1 portable miner, 5 rods, and 5 concrete, which I all have. You can see the yellow bars are full. And you see it kind of locks in place. You can use the mouse wheel to rotate it around. And there it is. This needs power, though. You can configure it. You don't have to configure it for ore. That's just whatever you put it on. You can lower their clock speed or overclock them, but overclocking them takes things you need to build. But the main thing is you need to connect it to power, and eventually, as you upgrade your hub in the tutorial, you'll get these biomass burners. And actually, I'm not using them anymore, but basically, you can collect leaves and they'll burn leaves. You can turn the leaves into biomass, and that will last longer. But eventually, you turn the biomass into biofuel, and that lasts 15 seconds per biofuel. And each biomass burner, I think, makes 20 megawatts. I had 5 of them before I got something better. And then you got to build power poles and power lines. The power poles, for whatever reason, only hold 4 lines. So it becomes a bit of a trick to get everything connected up. Basically, I'm using never connect a pole to more than 2 machines. That way you have 1 power line coming in, it goes to 2 machines, and then you can have 1 more line continuing on to something else. To the next power pole, basically. So once you have poles in, you need power in, which I didn't power this, but it doesn't really. You see, everything gives it status that's blinking red, that's green. Sometimes they'll blink yellow. Like if you don't have materials, but it has power, so it can't run, it will blink yellow. But then you can build conveyor belts. Conveyor belts are just made using plate, and like you can see, I can't build here, but oh yeah, I can build from there. And you just click and drag, and you know. Oh, this is a splitter, so that would be out, which is why it's not letting me connect. So this splitter has 1 input and 3 outputs, so you can split 3 ways, but it just snaps into things. I'm not gonna. I mean, well, let's do that again. And it'll actually build to there, and then you can then from here continue on. You can also you can see this like a little pole here. You can build the poles individually, and then I can drag it up to. I think there's 3 different heights, but these types of poles don't go any higher. But you have the whole building menu here. There's production, crafting bench, equipment workshop, your miners. There's smelters, which turns the ore into ingots. Constructors will turn one part into another, like the ingots into plates or ingots into rods. An assembler will take 2 different parts and combine them into a new thing, such as... if I go here, you can see most of the stuff can be made with assemblers. Like the rotor here takes 2 different parts. Most of these are, hey, it's one thing. But the rotor, modular frame, all take 2 parts. There's also the reinforced iron plates here. So those need the assemblers. But let's get a little overhead view of what I made here. So I had the one machine there digging up iron. It came over. It was being split into these 2 smelters because the belts can carry 60 items per second, per minute, 1 per second. The smelters, though, can only smelt 30 items per minute. So, yeah, they were smelting. I was recombining it. This was making plates. This is making rods. This is currently making rods, and they're going. That's a storage container. It's just it's a big chest, basically. And then that's going over there to make the rotors. These rods are coming in here and being turned into screws. There's all sorts of interesting life forms. Yeah, the world is very beautiful. I'm on the edge of the world. I'm not really sure how I got here, but the world is not randomly generated. It's made, but I think there's a few different landing sites, so you can wind up in different places. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Making screws. The screws are then being split, sent into these machines. This guy is making plates, and the plates are going into storage, and then out into this machine, which is making reinforced plates with the screws and plates. For a while, this was also making plates, and then I had a conveyor belt coming over and then merging in. But that's been changed now because I needed more rods. Up there's digging stone, and it's being turned, or I think it's technically limestone, is being turned into concrete, which is getting stored here. Over here, there was a copper deposit, and that is going through 2 different smelters. One is just making copper cable and getting stored. One is making copper cable, and then that cable is being turned into... sorry, it's copper wires. Then the wires are turned into cable. You can see I have it actually turned off. It's blinking yellow, which says it does have power, but it's not running. Also, like I said, you need biomass. And so you can go out and collect a lot of leaves and also wood. And this is all out in the open and disorganized. But, ooh. Yeah, there's no climbing animation yet, but hey, it's early access. The game is expected to be in early access for at least a year, so that's something that can be added. So I actually had this set up here all organized. You can actually build floors and walls and actually ladders and stairs and things like that. But this would... you would put leaves in here. And now you can see this is just one of those storage chests. Here come the leaves. I did turn this all off, didn't I? But you turn the machines into biomass, and then this would turn the biomass, here comes the biomass, into the biofuel. And here it comes. And then it would go into this storage. Actually, I have quite a bit here. And then the same thing, it's just a different production line for wood that you can pick up. So this was my biofuel production. So I actually had 2 lines for leaves and wood, and the wood would also then come over here, merge in this is a merger, and they would go into the storage. But now I'm no longer running on all that. Let's turn this off. Well, actually at this point it probably doesn't matter too much, but turning it off does save power. I think he uses 4 megawatts. Because I'm near the end of what's currently playable, and I've built a space elevator and unlocked coal power, and I got a tractor, a truck station, coal generator, and it updated my scanner to be able to scan for coal. So the coal was kind of far from here, but I now have these 2 coal power plants that I think do 100 megawatts each, and yeah, they only need like 1 piece of coal every 10 seconds or so. So I have very full coal, and you can actually normally the conveyors push you faster than you can run, but it seems like they did a trick where if it's at a slope, they let you go up the slope without being pushed back. But you'll notice as soon as I get to the top here, well, maybe you can run. Maybe it's walking speed. But anyway, so way over there is where I'm getting my coal from, and I have a conveyor belt going all the way over from there to here where it's split. This is a truck station. I got my truck lost, but so some of it goes to fill the truck if the truck was here. You can see, hey, it's got 100 waiting. The rest is going, or was going, it still is, just a lot more slowly now, over to power my whole factory. There are definitely more materials. I've run into quartz, and I've run into sulfur. There's also interesting life forms, like it's a green power slug, and I believe you actually have to research those guys to unlock some stuff. I think the overclocking it was. But there's lots of other creatures, and it's one of the big things that you only start out with. Wrong button here. Basically, a cattle prod, and there usually are some hostile creatures protecting each ore deposit. So you'll have to fight off a creature or two, and so there's definitely a little combat. There is multiplayer, which I haven't yet to try out. I would like to try that out before this free weekend play is over. But yeah, the world goes quite a ways. I'll show you that at the end. We'll get in a truck. But like, yeah, you gotta pick up leaves. I mean, I don't have to do any more. There were leaves all over here. They do seem to slowly grow back. These plants have fruit that will heal you. Here we go, these pale berries. So yeah, each one restores a health point. In fact, I am kind of low on health. There we go. Let's complete the things I haven't done yet. And then we'll, it'll give you a basic feel of the game. And then I'll take a quick drive around in a truck. So Logistics Mark II, I think this unlocks faster conveyor belts at up to 120 resources per minute. So we need some reinforced iron plate. I already have 20 on me. We need 1,500 wire. I'll hit select milestone, and that actually puts up in the corner what we need. And here I'm shift clicking, which will move over the stuff. What was a rotor 20? We got a bunch. You can manually drag and drop. You can hit sort, which will then also combine stacks. And now I just need 1,500 wire. Luckily, wire is one of the things you get real quickly. I don't think each one of these is one wire. I think it actually represents like 10. But I got a lot. Why did that say 99 instead of... Oh, it's not going to shift click over a whole stack. Let's do that. Now where did those leaves go? That I don't really care about, because it's actually quite easy to pick up a bunch of leaves. In fact, the bigger plants were like 5 or 10 leaves each, so... so then you'll go in here, we'll click this over, get a nice launch, and in fact,
milestone
you
reached.
are
we encourage you
theoretically
to consider
shipping
more
those
verticality
out.
when it comes to factory logistics to streamline short-range transportation.
So that will be back in 7 minutes. It used to be like 2 minutes, but I think each tier is longer. So basically I can't send out another thing for that amount of time. So like even though I do have the materials for this. Yeah, that's the last thing I don't have unlocked. But now that I do have sent that stuff out, I should be able to logistics. So I can now. These are kind of nice. Like you can hit the plus on it, and it will tell you, "Hey, here's what you need." And you can see you only need 2 of each, so I can make that. So if I click it, you can use mouse wheel to rotate, and then I guess. Oh, and you just keep stacking up and up and up. Or you can deconstruct. You got all the shortcuts down in the corner there. Yeah. So the space elevator over here also gives you requirements. And to unlock tier 5 and 6, you need frames, 500 of them, and 100 motors. Now, I could build 500 frames, but motors is not something that's unlocked currently. So, you can't get to tier 5 or 6. In fact, you can't get to tier 4, as you sort of locked off. But, yeah, in early access, everything up through tier 6 should be available. So that's the progression loop right now. I guess it's kind of similar to Factorio's, technology research, except you're not making potions or science packs or whatever you want to call them. You're delivering a certain amount of resources and unlocking the next tier. So we want a truck or tractor. That's what you can. And what is... Oh, that's adding how many to the to-do list. I see. I didn't realize. So I do need some beacons. Beacons put these like Wi-Fi markers in my radar at the top, and you can name them. I'm not sure where the name shows up, but yeah, I had a tractor. I got it stuck in a river, and I don't know how to get it out. It basically won't run. Not here. I want here. In fact, I don't even want here. I want here. Beacons are relatively simple to make, so I actually have more than plenty now. But yeah, you just hold them in your hand and you put them down, and it leaves a little marker so you can get back there. So we're gonna go over here back to where I had the vehicle station. It does seem you can set up multiple vehicle stations and have the vehicles automatically drive themselves around. There's lots of interesting and dangerous creatures. Well, not all of them are dangerous. There's definitely some nice creatures. Maybe we'll even run into a few. Alright, let's hit tractor. This truck station is configured for unloading. So one of these is for loading and one of these is for unloading. So theoretically you have the truck go out somewhere, pick up stuff from a mine, bring it back, and then belt it from here into your factory. But we're just going to get into the... Oh, it also has a workbench for crafting things on the go. But we're just going to drive it. And now it gives you like a third person. You can see vehicle path not recording. I'm not sure how to record. And then assumingly if you've recorded a path, you can then stick it on autopilot and I'll follow the path and like drive to another station, pick stuff up, and drive back and drop it off. This truck is fairly forgiving in that like you can drive it off a cliff and it won't tumble over. So, oh, that's one of the, just to the left of my truck is the fruit that will heal you. These are kind of interesting animals over here. Kind of try to blend into the plants. But they'll give off poison if you get too close. There are caves. This ravine over here reminded me that there are caves. And yeah, here's... You drive off of but the truck will reset itself, basically. Not. Here's I don't even know what this is, but we're gonna take some. Yeah, so I'm still discovering things, even though I've played probably 7 hours at this point. This biome isn't the only one. There's at least 2 others. I know there's one right over this way. You can see the different plants over here. And there's like a crater or something there. You see over this way, the plants definitely change. And even the color of the sky does a little... It's a little purpley. And there seems to be more hostile creatures in this area than where I was. And actually, where is it? It's over this way. I found the wreckage. Here we go. And one of these was a drop pod. I had to bring over parts to open it up. But that's where I got the hard drive. Let's see here. The hard drive and also the circuit boards were also laying over here. So there's definitely things to explore and find. This is a beacon. This is a beacon that I put down that's giving off that little Wi-Fi marker. Oh, that's what it looks like to me on Wi-Fi marker. But yeah, so I've enjoyed what I played. It's a slow start. I would say a bit slower than Factorio, and the start is a little difficult if you run into too many of the hostile creatures before setting up your base, the hub. You'll die and wind up back at the drop pod and not have a weapon anymore. But if you do have the hub set up, oh, that is poisonous air, I think. If you do have the hub set up, you'll spawn back to the hub, and hopefully you'll have the materials to build another zapper. They're actually not too difficult to build, so you should... Oh, little spider-like thing. Oh, and then... Yep. I've run into these if you get out... Well, yeah. They turn into, like, these firefly things that come after you and hurt you. This is probably the river I got stuck in earlier, so I'm going to try to stay out of it. You can drive through parts of it, but other parts are apparently too deep. I guess if water gets over the tires, you have problems. The fact is that is my truck over there. I think there is a third biome, but I haven't found it yet. But yeah, I mean, this looks incredible, just the way it is. Okay. That's something I haven't seen before. Yeah, so it definitely needs some work. There's limits, but I think with the early access and basically doubling what you can build, that's definitely going to go a long way. They're obviously going to be tweaking the game and improving things, improving performance, adding in some more animations and things like that, like the ladder climbing animation. And definitely I know they have plans for trains and all sorts of high technology, I think even like nuclear power and stuff like that, and quite a few more materials to mine and build with. So yeah, if you weren't able to play it in this test weekend, but you do like games like Factorio or Infinifactory, definitely check it out in early access when it comes out. This has been my views of the game, and if you like what you see, check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.